as you know, the oil tankers are generating a tremendous amount of money right now, and there has been this talk as to what's the best capital allocation strategy for these companies, whether it is that they pay down debt or do buybacks or pay dividends. And if you, like me, if you own a basket of them, you get a little bit of all of it. For example, Euronav focuses on paying dividends as well as Frontline. TK is focusing on deleveraging. DHT, I believe, is doing a combination of both. But some people expressed their opinions that they would rather see buybacks versus dividends. And I'm here to tell you that I like dividends. I like dividends because of what I'm going to do with them. And I think of them as, let's say, if you have a chicken, the chicken is the actual company, and then the chicken lays eggs, right? So the eggs are my dividends. And obviously we're all invested in the tankers because we think that that one chicken will turn into 3 or 4 or 5 chickens down the road. But I'm really excited about the dividend part because of what I'm going to do with it. And as you know, DHT already paid a dividend on May 26th, and I'm waiting for another dividend from Frontline on June 22nd. Euronav will pay 2 dividends, one on June 9th, which is the 29 cents per share, and then the second one of 81 cents per share is on June 26th. And I'm really excited about these dividends because there are plenty of 5 to 10 bagger opportunities out there because of the sell-off that happened because of the COVID. I mean, there's just so many opportunities out there. I don't even know where to start with. I have this notebook where, and this is just part of the notebook. I have other places where I studied companies previously, and I put the notebook together. And every time I have like a dividend that just came in with DHT, I just look through my ideas, and I'm like, okay, which investors are doing something stupid here? In other words, what are they selling off? Which value they're not appreciating? So the way I see these dividends is, let's say if Euronav, the dividend for the quarter is like 10%. Okay, so if I take that dividend and I invest it into 5 or 10 bagger, I mean, it's like, even if I'm wrong on Euronav, that dividend alone is going to pay for the whole original position in Euronav. And if Euronav does 3x or 5x over the next however many years, then that's even better. But I just want to go over some of the ideas that I'm looking at, not necessarily investing my dividends, but I'm looking at them for the possibility of putting my dividends into it. So I talked about Oracle, for example. I mean, Oracle, I've been long the company since 2007, so it already went up a lot. But from the current levels, I mean, 3x is easy. It's a matter of, is it going to be 10x, 20x, or 30x? No problem putting my dividend into it. Gold X, Oracle was a copper play. Gold X is, as the name suggests, is a gold play, and that company has an asset that now has the current gold price. It's about $1 billion net present value. The stock is trading, maybe, I think it's like 5% of that. So no problem putting my dividend into this. Another opportunity, Dover Motorsports. I talked about that. Dover Motorsports has 2 NASCAR races, and last year there were 3 players in NASCAR. There was International Speedway Corporation, Speedway Motorsports, and Dover Motorsports. And 2 of them are no longer no longer public. They were taken private. International Speedway Corporation was acquired by NASCAR, which is a private organization. Speedway Motorsports was taken private, and Dover Motorsport is the only NASCAR that's left. So obviously, because of COVID, the stock price got cut in half. I had absolutely no problem buying it. I have no problem buying more at these levels. I bought it around $1 per share. Now it's about $1.40. So that was an easy 40%. But I think it's going back to $2 and it pays dividend. But the most importantly about Dover is it's an easy $2, easy money when things go back to normal. But there's an optionality for 5 to 7 times your money, because Dover Motorsports has 2 NASCAR races, and when the other 2 companies were taken private, or they were acquired for a price of between 100 million and I think it was 100 to 166 million per one NASCAR race. Dover has 2 NASCAR races, and the market is valuing each NASCAR race at 25 million. So to me, it's just an obvious no-brainer. Another company that I'm looking at, I don't own it, is Liberated Syndication, and it's a company that specializes in hosting podcasts. And think about it, I'm doing a YouTube video, I'm doing some interviews, and how many of you ask me, why don't you put it on podcast? Why don't you put it on podcast? It's I'm not going to do it, but there's a trend now. More people are having podcasts, and especially now that everyone's at home, more people are bored and are starting up podcasts. So that company looks very interesting. I just came back from the post office, and I put some gas in my car. I haven't done it for 2 months, and I noticed on the side of the pump there were plastic gloves. And so before that COVID started, there was this trend of there still is this environmental awareness trend, and plastic is bad. Well, now with this COVID, you see more and more plastic being used everywhere. Before you go to the store, plastic gloves, and it's just plastic consumption and waste of plastic is just going to go much higher from the current levels. So previously, the company that I was looking at is Imaflex, and they have certain different divisions. And one of the divisions that was kind of struggling was the plastic division. It was very low margin, and now I'm going to look at this company again, and I don't own it, but it's something interesting. Another company that I've been following for quite some time is Psychemedics. So what Psychemedics does is they do drug testing for pre-employment through the analysis of hair. So I'm sure we've all been drug tested before getting a job by peeing into a cup, but this company has a special niche that does it through analysis of hair. So I've been following this company since the great 2008-2009 financial crisis, and it's always been interesting. They have a good balance sheet. They always make money. They pay dividends, but their earnings are not like that. They kind of fluctuate, but it's always been a pretty safe bet to buy Psychemedics during recessions and slowdowns. Go to sleep for 3 years, and you wake up with a 4 or 5 bagger. So I'm looking at this. I don't own it at this point, but hey, my new Euronav dividend, my frontline dividend is coming up. So when they hit my accounts, I'll look through these and I'll say okay, which one do I want to buy? And the final company that I'm looking at, I already bought some shares, and I'm not going to tell you the name at this point because I still am acquiring shares. But I've been following this particular company for also more than 10 years, and it had one specific division And then I think it was 2014, it acquired another division, and it was scaling down one division, and the one that it acquired, it was growing revenues, and it was growing them rapidly, and the company was almost profitable in January, and then boom, the coronavirus hit, and it kind of screwed everything up. But they are about to get a huge, like a 5-year older from the Navy, and when that happens, just watch out. So I'm looking at that, I'm studying it a little bit more. I will make a video about it, but at this point, that's all I have to say. So yeah, I like dividends. I have very much good uses for it anytime they hit the account. And if the oil tanker companies decide to do buyback, I like that too, but I'm not gonna say no to dividends. So that's it for today.